Okay, this is actually a couple of exemplar. I don't want to say exemplar. You can use this as guidelines. Okay, guidelines are always good, but these are actually after they presented, I commented on that, they improve, and then they upload here. So you will do that. You will do the same. But I'll give you this so you can check all this. This one, my PhD student, her colloquium. So those who are PhD or master by research, you can look at them. It's not the best in the the world, but it's there. It's good with good comments and stuff. They improve. And this one also our PhD candidate. No, this is master. This is what master by research. And this one is actually Viva for all until chapter. What chapter? Chapter 3 or chapter full Viva. Okay, means until chapter 5. This is what, no, I'll add one, the one that she presented something similar, but for her PhD. So this one proposal, competency pemimpin. This is kind of good too. And this one, he's doing educational management. Mr. Rozwan from College Matrikulasi, I think Ketua Jabatan, the head of department. See, it's 9 slides and stuff, but what matters is you know, how you actually want to show. This is my study. This is my objective. Okay, I have in different languages, so feel free. I think there's one lady, Netia. Her proposal is nice. Once I give you this, just go through, but don't compare your own study to theirs. Take the backbone. I mean the steps of doing that. Basically, it's chapter 1, what you want to talk about chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Okay, and usually you cannot have more than 20 minutes to present, then 10 minutes for Q&A basically. Okay, for our class, it's going to be more like relaxed because it depends on the needs and who needs to have more, but you have to send it to me first, your slides before your date, presentation date. Okay. Sharvina, see, I'm still working on it. This is why my name is there, because I replicate this from different parts. So I'll add them. But this is Sharvina said, I'm still working on it. They send it something, but it's incomplete because it keeps moving. But make sure you'll try to make sure it's rigorous enough. Umanis is good too. Umanis proposal. It's about bring your own device. Okay. Yeah, if for now the only master in educational management, Cik Rozwan. Puan Rohaya, okay, not bad. Is there any more? This is PhD QPIC. Diana Wulandari is good, an Indonesian student doing something for Indonesia schools. This one, Ozoda, I think. Ozoda Sharipova. Very good, very rigorous. From Uzbekistan. So yeah, examples. Remember, examples, you know, do not, what do you call it? Okay. Oh, this is Azza. Oh, okay. So this one is when she was master by research student at UPM. Okay, this one. And this one is when, this is for her, yeah. For her Viva, not Viva, like preparation to go for PhD. We call it, it's not exactly proposal defense, but those who attended, like those the staff who wants to make sure she will go. She's a tutor at UUM, our tutor. Yeah, and she has to show it to all her colleagues, basically the professors in the field. So it's kind of rigorous. And she took my class during this last semester. So it's a good one to show how you can compare. Okay, I'll share one more my PhD student, Later I'll add one. Okay. Let me just share this on chat box. So Jumin, back to your question. If you can find somebody to swap with you, remember, if you delay, it's gonna delay your report. Trust me. Don't feel that you're doing at the end, it's gonna help. You might, find the end is like, that's the only time that you can commit. It's okay. But like I said, it's our first come, first serve basis. We'll try to accommodate everybody. If somebody changed your mind to go earlier, so that, they have time to improve the buffer, because usually this report is based on what you have here in your chapter 3. And this one is based on your article review. And the article review is based on your reading list. I told you it's all connected. First, you find it separate pieces, but at the end, what is it that you actually integrate? It's all about exploration and decision. What is the most important thing? Okay. So I'm going to take a break. Let's just take 5 and come back. And I'll share with, I already shared that on the chat box. I'll add another PhD candidate of mine did for colloquium, the one on that Padlet. Okay. So I'll see you 10:25, 7 minutes. Awesome. Yeah. I hope it's going to help. Okay. 10:25, we come back and we'll do the introduction to the evidence-based document. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Are you guys ready to continue? Thank you, Madam Pova. Oh, before that, I just upload on Padlet just now. This one, the colloquium. Okay, so I hear panels commented on her title being too long. So we've decided to change to factors for PG students' well-being and GOT. The first title is basically on all her variables under the sky. Postgraduate students' well-being in Malaysia based on personal, social life, supervision environment, research knowledge, academic writing skill, research support and professional development opportunities, and personality trait. So these are all the factors. So we just, reduce it to factors that predict, basically something like that. Factors that predict the postgraduate students' well-being and graduate on time, whether they can GOT or not. Okay. Most of you must be familiar with the GOT, means you have to finish within the prescribed time. Okay, and that's her slides. I just added. Okay, so happy reading. Go through, but again, you have your own style. Remember that. Do not get overwhelmed. The most important thing is you understand your own study. You know what is the problem. You know the variables. It doesn't have to be a lot. Some people, I think, just come up with 2 or 3 variables. Okay. And it's good. The most important thing, it makes sense, it's logical, it's supported with empirical evidence. Empirical evidence can be in terms of policy, in terms of paper. If I give you a lot of stuff, you're gonna get stressful. So I'm gonna restrain myself from doing that. But if you need more information on the perangkaan and stuff, I have everything. So this is the one that we skip for after the introduction to evidence. Remember we did the first part. This is the second part. Okay, and is this recorded? Yeah, it's recorded. I keep on forgetting to do that. Okay, introduction to evidence-based inquiry, part 2. Okay, so this is actually the, what do you call it? the continuation. Anybody say something? Okay. The continuation from that previous philosophical part and the paradigm. Remember, we noticed that we talk about paradigms. Different people have different paradigms and why. And you decided your paradigm, so you know that people are looking at that single reality. Quantitative usually will come up with those single reality, means they look at only variables of interest. They don't want to look at other social perspectives and stuff like social constructivism or transformative or even pragmatism. So most of the time, logical positivism and post-positivism, they are compiled. They are known as together as positivist, means they have one way of looking at stuff. And based on their own philosophical foundations, they have the way they look at make meaning, the epistemology, how they know what they know, axiology, the values that they incorporate, and the methodology, whether it is quantitative or qualitative or both. And positivists usually will go with quantitative. Okay, and social constructivism depends. If they are interested to see the trend, the bigger trend, like many samples, then they'll go with quantitative mixed method. Means they have quantitative and they have also the qualitative part. Okay, and we talk about the characteristics of research. It's really intertwining, and you keep on going back and forth with the cycle. You repeat, sometimes you cancel, you omit, you add. It's along the way. Okay, and that's last time. So for today, the second part of that evidence, introduction to evidence-based inquiry, or basically research, is basically people will ask you two things. What is your research, and it depends on how you answer your how you answer those who ask. Okay, so first we look at research based on their purposes, and then based on the methods or designs. Some people call it approaches. And in I think Creswell book, they put analytic, and sometimes they just cancel this analytic, put under qualitative. That's why I put it in red. Okay, and then again, this is the summary of your key components of research proposal and report, based on what I've read in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay, and I'll show you examples from Awang Saleh Graduate School, and also other examples on how they write their own report. So, okay, when people ask you, Madam, I don't want to do this. Okay, what is your research about? Okay, so anybody, if you can talk to me on the microphone, with the microphone, would be great. So anybody, tell me, what is your research about? In less than 3 sentences, if possible.
I try, Doctor.
Okay, cool, Nisha. Is this Nisha? Yeah,
Hi.
right. Nisha.
Yeah. Okay, hello. My research is actually about the alternative assessment. It's about the new no exam policy that has been introduced by the Education Ministry, and it has caused a massive difficulties for the teachers to do the alternative assessment instead of the traditional assessment. So in this in my research, I would try to explore the technology-enhanced learning environment in order to do the alternative assessment so that we can improve the students' language acquisition.
Okay, so Nisha gave a kind of lengthy description, but she mentions one word, basically the takeaway, like if in the elevator or in the lift, you want to see, okay, it's like elevator pitch. Hey, what's your research? You meet somebody like, very, and you want to say, hi, my research is about this, and oh, okay, and see whether, she or he keep on walking with you outside the elevator, or just, okay, see you later. Okay, so explore. That's one key takeaway. Explore alternative assessment. if that person is, the key person of alternative assessment, what do you mean? If means it triggers more and more, but you will go with that, the basic part, the topic itself, and basically what you plan to do. So Nisha mentioned about explore. Okay, the word explore. Okay, that's one way to do it. Some people go with the purpose, some people will go with the methods. So we'll see. Just now, Nisha talked about more on the purpose. Okay, and she never mentioned, okay, I'm going to do quantitative or qualitative, or I'm going to interview teachers or what. No. So she was she answered in terms of, so basically in general, when we ask, we want to explain about our research, we'll go with the purpose, and then how we're going to use it. And Nisha said, it's confusing and stuff, problematic. So how the applicability means, why are we doing this, or how we're going to conduct or collect the data. I'll do quantitative, I'll do qualitative. Oh, I'm doing mixed method. Okay, so it's normal. So first we'll go with the purpose. Okay, here there are 5 basic purposes. I'm not sure whether they are changing, but most textbooks or research method textbooks, we talk about 5 purposes of research. It's basic research, applied research, evaluation, action research, and R&D. R&D means research and development. And at some point, at different stage, we have different, verb to explain certain research. For example, basic research, usually we explore, we develop, we want to, we want to have something fundamental, very basic ideas. Okay, applied, when you start using this, whatever you found in basic research, and you come up with something new, or you apply it in different contexts or in practice. Okay, doing module, okay, develop a module and then test it, experiment it to different schools. If I use this module in SJKC, what happened? If I use this module, teach sejarah in SJKT, what happened? If I use this one in Sekolah Kebangsaan, what happened? Maybe, but you are developing a module. The module is, you are testing that. So you, based on, first you explore and how to come up with the important elements of teaching history, and then you make a module about it, and then you test. Okay, evaluation is basically when you have a program or a product that you want to evaluate further. Okay, action research, I think most of you are familiar with this. You do it again and again, and there's a cycle of things when you add more and improve and then reflect. There's always a reflection with this. R&D is when you test. Again, a test. But this one, test to improve. This one, test to see whether it's worth it. Okay, so that's the takeaway. If I stop here, I let you read on your own, will it be good? Will it be good? I'm asking here, actually. So if I stop here, do you want me to go further, explaining each of them, or is good? The slide is good. Should I stop explaining about this and go to method, or you want me to go deeper? There's no right or wrong answer. So we have all of this. Do you want me to stop here? You got it, and then later you check, or you want me to explain? I'm asking a question here.
I think it's okay for me. I don't know for the others, but for me it's okay as long as we read the explanation about the types of the research, right?
Okay.
The
What about
important
others?
thing is the.
Sure. Thank you, Nisha. So Nisha said, okay, I'm good if I want to stop here. Anybody else?
As for me, could you please the difference between R&D and evaluation research? Hello?
Zoom. Okay. Again. Okay. 5 types of research, and most of all of us in this class are doing basic research. Okay. But later, when you really do your project paper, it could be anything, but PhD definitely is a basic research because you will come up with your own contribution. When you do basic research, there's always additional contribution. Even it's either methodological contribution or theoretical contribution, means you refine some theories, or you add something, or you verify something, and then there's something else that people can use, and that's why you are doing the postdoc. Doctoral studies. That's why you do it. And here, when it's based on the basic research, always what theory drives you, because that's the fundamental part. And these are all many types of theories. An example, okay, this is applied research. When you start based on that finding from basic research, you use it to apply, to solve problems, to develop something, to test something. And most of the time when you apply, you are starting to develop something tangible, not even a theory. Basic research more like developing theory or model or guidelines or understanding of stuff. But when you use the guideline to solve problems, to do more, then it's actually an applied. And most of the time, basic and applied research, they are actually inform each other. They guide, they support, they improve, okay? And it's fundamental. Evaluation, okay, that's when I ask, okay, what's the difference between evaluation? Evaluation is when you, most of the time, you act as like evaluator, who's not within that. It could be both. Most of the time, we want to see how at the end a program or a product functions. What is the merit and worth? Whether how they contribute so much. Whether is it really worth it to provide to go further with a program, or is this product has more what do you call it, values, added values, or even a policy. You can evaluate a policy whether it's working or not. What merit does it provide? What's the merits and worth, basically. Okay, here there are some examples. And evaluation, it could be both. Like I said, you can form as like somebody from outsider. When you are actually the client tasting the soup, and you are testing, okay, the soup is good or not. So basically a product or policy or a program is good or not. Or you can do it in middle of the thing when you can still improve. Okay, so you are the chef. So this is Bob Stick. Always come up, start with the formative and summative. The term itself from Michael Scriven, formative and summative evaluation. Okay, you want to improve during the process, or at the end, summative, when it's already ready. It could be either too late, or it could be either somebody from outside is doing the evaluation research. So you want to see whether they are worth to be continued. What's the strength and weaknesses of that product, policy, or the entity. Okay. So research and development. Just now I asked the difference between R&D. Okay, evaluation research. So you got that in terms of how you want to see whether the merit and worth, with the strength and stuff. Research development is more like you keep on improving, and when you research, you build something. You build a prototype, for example, a smart board, or check on the use of superminds, and you keep on improving, or providing something with how to actually hang a cloth without make it slippery, usually in the business research and development, the commercial part. And this is it. One example is actually Papan Sintu. Here is our own professor at School of Computing, helping students with dyslexia. She started with basic research, where she actually asked people around, explore what can be done to help dyslexic kids. Dyslexic, those who have children with special needs in terms of learning disabilities, having problems to read, couldn't identify certain words and stuff. So how can they help to do this, to help these kids? So she created a Papan Sintu. They call it, it's a board that, with numbers and stuff. And students, this kind of students, they use senses, touch, based on the learning theories, whatever she I think this is more like experiential and Vygotsky theory. So she used that in basic research, and based on that, she create this smart board, we call it Papan Sintok, to help these dyslexic kids. And to do this, to finalize with this kind of idea, she keep on improving. First she used the wood board, and then the wood board has what do you call it? The tiny wood, the wood chip, and it hurts it goes in the flesh, so it hurts. And then she changed to styrofoam. Styrofoam is too fragile. Then she used what do you call it, glasses. It doesn't work. At the end they use acrylic, I think acrylic board. This type of, like, it's safe for kids, and it won't hurt your fingers, and it has that glossy element that always augment the color. So those are the R&D part that she improved, but this is in education technology based on the basic research that she conducted earlier. Okay, and here again, this is our very own lecturer at School of Education, Associate Professor Dr. Nurul Wahida. Some of you might know her. Okay, so she created an app, Cerdik BM. I bought this app. Is basically, you play game on your laptop. It's a USB start, and yeah, teach students. At that time we have Linux. I'm not sure whether we still have Linux in schools. So to help reading and writing. Okay, and when they play this, there's some improvement. So she's checking on how to improve more this app. Okay, same. This is math. He's from SQS, School of Quantitative Science. So even though he's not from educational school, she's working on something to help. So here, arithmetic courseware, help preschoolers, master addition, subtraction, all the basic stuff. Division, I'm not sure whether division and multiplication is also there. I think should be, if he mentioned arithmetic for preschoolers, it should be maybe add and minus. Because kids nowadays, they have problems. Oh, tell me about it, because even I know that at some point those in the secondary schools cannot read and write. That's a problem. Okay, so yeah, that's why they come up with the problem. That's the problem. And now let's not tackle secondary. Let's go to the root, those before they start school. Okay, so that's what they come up, and those are the theories that inform them in basic research and come up with the R&D. Action research, again, it's all based on cycles, and it should be conducted for at least 2 cycles. I know principals or headmasters or headmistress, they always ask their teachers to conduct action research. Am I right? Or correct me if I'm wrong, especially those who SISE plus, do you need this to do as a a KPI for each school? I'm not sure, but I know teachers are doing action research a lot. Okay, and it's all about the cycles. And basically it has, in general, it has 7 steps. Some people use 5 or or less, but at least 2 cycles. Okay. And these are the cycles when they keep on improving. And the most important thing, there should be a reflection element here. Okay, they planned, they do it, they check, observe, they write the findings, and then they reflect. And then they keep on changing, adding to the plan or revise the plan and do the same thing and reflect until it becomes somehow, we call it perfect. Okay, and here is also another way of how you they more we call it more detail, how you start with first we try to make it simple for teachers. Okay, thank you very much, Kabaya. Okay, would you like to share a little bit experience? What do you mean simple? Any example of action research study that you've been monitoring or you've been asking teachers to do?
Hello, doctor.
Yes.
Okay, there's no specific action research that I would like to share. Just that we know that teachers they have lots of innovation or strategies, teaching strategies in the classroom, but we are helping them to make it to write them in academic writing, like action research in a very simple format that we have in SIC convention in 2018, where an SIC in Labuan, she has shared her 12 ways of writing action research, and most teachers there are really into action writing. And we went there, a few of us from Terengganu, we went there for a sharing. So we've brought that back to Terengganu. And because we know teachers are very afraid of writing things that are so specific, so academic, but they have done it in class. They have done the intervention, they have done the teaching strategies, but they don't know how to put it in writing. So that's how we make it simple for them. And SIC Plus and SIP Plus, we're doing that, especially for transformation schools.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, we have that cycle, and we have workshops on that as well. So it's going on in Terengganu, but not as popular yet. But we are moving towards that, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Okay, because another thing why it's being called action, because it's being done by practitioners.
Yes,
so it's teachers, right?
So we are doing it deductively. So teachers do the action first, then only they present in writing. And we encourage them to present and do sharing of best practices with other schools using PLC and things like that.
Oh, okay. That'd be great too, no? Okay. So yeah, if you have something that you can share with us later on WhatsApp group.
Okay, maybe later.
Thank you.
Maybe I can share the 12 steps that we have taken from
Labuan that'd be great.
They have won the gold medal for SIC, inshallah.
Oh,
but not today, okay? I will
okay. Yeah, just anything, just to add more info, just to have more different perspective on how things are. Because in our research method, it's more like it's everything. You have these are the types of research. Go further. Sometimes we have to take one semester.
Yeah.
Okay. Madam Greta said interesting. She
wants
it.
research.
I want to see.
Yeah, researchers done in university are very thorough and very lots of procedures that they have to go through. So we try to make it as simple as we can, but still following the cycle of an action research to make it complete. Because we know that teachers have lots of things in their hands. So we want them to be interested in doing the research, but in a simple way. Inshallah, I will share one day.
That'd be great.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Our FISC Plus. Okay, from Besut. Okay, so here this is my own practice, and like I said, I'm publishing it. Actually, it's in press, and I give you the rubric itself, the finalized rubric. I already ask for copyright for it, get intellectual property. The rubric that I sent you, it's very exclusive because it's not yet published, and then you get it first. And that is based on my action research. It's a SOTL project, Scholarship of Teaching and Learning. I'm using my own practice, and I'm doing it. So I wrote a rubric for chapter 1. Just now, Boot and Bailey used rubric chapter 2. So I'm using chapter 1, and I'm using 6 cycles. So I asked them to basically, in order to, based on the rubric, I use this kind of cycles. This is my practice, and it's going to be on MGLI soon, inshallah, July. Okay, and you have that. Use that also if you want to comment on your problem statement. See what are the elements that I found very important to come up with. Okay, for chapter 1. Okay, that's it. That's the purpose. So we have basic, applied, evaluation, action, and R&D. Okay, and how we apply it. Some people, we just want to explore. That's when Nisha said. And then action research, when you keep on, based on the practitioner, and you keep on improving, and you want to see what works in your practice at school. Okay, and now we talk about when people ask, okay, I can go with method. Oh, my study is mixed method. Or how we actually collect and analyze data. I remember in the first few classes, I think Madam Nalini or Madam Nila, please correct me, one of you, ask me what is qualitative, what is quantitative. So this is it, the basic part. Okay, And instead of purposes, we can also go with the methods. It's either quanti, quali, mixed method. Analytic, I said that, Creswell mentioned analytic, and some people put it analytic as a qualitative, and depending on how you analyze, okay? But if it's not wrong to say that my method is analytic method and based on Creswell, okay? But most of the time, it's all about mixed method or either quanti, quali, and based on the paradigm. If it's post-positivist, it's quantitative. It's beyond that, it's more like qualitative or mixed method. Different perspectives. Okay, and I think this is a link for YouTube that you can look on quantitative, qualitative. But quantitative, qualitative is about, we have two classifications here or two groups. Under quantitative, we have experimental and the non-experimental. Based on what I noticed that most of you are who's planning to do quantitative, you are doing non-experimental. The experimental part is when you actually, put everybody, and give them different thing or intervention to test. Okay, and when we talk about experimental, usually is you want to have a cause and effect. Okay, if you give module A to teacher in school A, this is the effect. Okay, if we give this module B to teacher in school B, the effect is this. Okay, is it significant? It's not. This is how you want. And experimental, people will like to go with it because it's somehow like gold standard in research. Okay, but it's kind of difficult. You have to control as much as you can. If you do lab research, it's more. But if you do in the lab condition using animals or plants, then it's not as rigorous. It's rigorous, but it's not as complicated as when you do experimental for humans. That's why we asked whether social science is science. Yes, it is. It's hard to control the variables because humans are very intricate, okay, complex, everything, and they have everything really related to each other. And that's why some people use quasi, some people pronounce it quasi, some people it's like if quasi experimental design is when you cannot put them randomly. How can you randomly assign student A, in class A, I want student anywhere, anybody can take this intervention? No, you have to base on schools, you have to base on the available already classes that being designated classes that being there. So it's all quasi, means it's not random. Okay, and non-experimental is the one that when you do survey, you want to ask questions through surveys. Most of the time it's all the correlation, relationship, how A affect related to B, or it's not affect, it's associated with B, how, and you want to describe things. Is it many? Is it less? Is it moderate? So those are the non-experimental. When you don't really manipulate variables, there's no intervention, you don't random assign participants usually. Okay, you just use whatever they have. Okay, I want teacher in SJKT Kuala Mudayan. Okay, and I want to know what they feel about this through survey. That's non-experimental. More. Okay, these are more like, the types. When you write, maybe you want to see, okay, is it descriptive? You use mean and standard deviation only? Is it comparative? Means you want to see between two groups, SJKT, SJKC, and SK. Correlation, how A affect B, not affect, associate with B. Okay, affect means when there's an cause and effect, more like, experimental. This is the one that I said, true experimental. When usually we test a vaccine or something, with experimental design quantitative. It's a gold standard because random assignment, but it's not as as easy as it sounds. Random assignment, a lot of things that we have to control. Okay, quasi experimental is the one that I said, but the groups are not natural. Okay, we cannot assign them randomly. It's all whatever or the pre-existing groups. Means dekat sekolah tu means in the school we have those who already in class A. You cannot simply choose, okay, now I want student any student to go in class A. No, it's hard. KPM will come and and say no, this is not possible. Okay, and yeah, and it could be non-equivalent, it could be pre-test, post-test, or time series design when there's a in a length of time and the duration of a period, maybe 2 years, then you keep on improving. And that's a couple of examples. And you can have like single subject. Okay, methods used on a single subject or few subjects, but really you have to either quarantine that guy or that subject, or separate them from the rest of the population and study them in some amount of time. Okay, non-experimental, again, just now, this is the most common survey. Some people use survey as actually a type of design, but some people use it as a tool, depend on how you write. If you say, okay, I'm doing a survey design, okay, it's not wrong, okay, but usually survey is also in order you do descriptive, you use survey. It's normal to do correlation, you use survey. Okay, but this one is used by Kurzweil, so you're not going to go wrong. Just make sure you consistently mention this is a survey design and how is it, how this is survey design. Because in research, you can go with whatever you find works based on previous study suggestion and based on how you consistently confirm the argument. Tak boleh lah lagi, I'm using descriptive and I'm using survey design. So the clashes is the same thing, unless you say, okay, descriptive and survey we use it interchangeably. They mean the same thing, but sometimes I'm going to refer them to descriptive and sometimes I'm going to refer them to survey. Secondary analysis means people already collected the data. Okay, and you just use whatever they have in the database. So you go to the Department of Statistics or Census in your country and grab that data, the one that people help to find, and you make use of whatever you need to do. It's kind of like cool, but you have to learn how, you have to study the whole data collection process, how these are conducted, why they can, what are the data included in this database. Okay. Ex post facto, after the fact research means, rural students are there already, so most of the time people don't really refer to ex post facto because they just say that, okay, I'm doing this as like a mixed method and I'm going to survey these rural students and also interview them. But the fact that it's actually the rural students, they are there, their English score is there, so you just want to see what's going on, with the implementation of certain policies, for example. Okay, there's like sometimes there's no fine line to distinguish between this, because most of the time people just mention quantitative, I'm going to use survey. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to survey people, I'm going to analyze them using SPSS, and then I'm just going to report mean and standard deviation. Or this one, I'm going to report the correlation, the R, the rho. Okay, and qualitative. At some point here now, I'm doing I'm not my training, I did qualitative, but I do not have what do you call it, I do not pursue deeper during my postgraduate. My PhD is more like quantitative. But when I come back, I notice that in my practice, as an instructor at the higher education, I use also a lot qualitative study, basically case studies. Okay, case study is the most common that being used. Okay, but the rest are also like kind of very what do you call it, noble or sophisticated. Ethnography, for example, if you are interested in orang asli, you go and sit there, you check on them and see what's going on, and doing that within that social or cultural group, and and you delve deeper observation, interview, then that's ethnography. Phenomenology is basically, for example, you can go and ask those COVID-19 survivor, or even cancer, those who living with cancer or stuff, or any kind of lived experience. It doesn't have to be disease. It could be like lived experience of those who in the World War II, those the veterans. Okay, so that's phenomenology, but you have to describe in a lengthy, rigorous, and very rich description of those experience. Case study is normal. I did with couple of leaders, just finished that research. We call it higher education alert. Alert means we want to as a combination of the word align transformation for redesign higher education, something like that, alert, if I could remember briefly. Basically, we want to see what leaders from different universities, public universities, leaders here we define as the deputy vice chancellor for academic, and then those who involved in UTLC, means University Teaching and Learning Center, you know, the director or those who make the decision regarding teaching and learning during COVID. So we want to know what's going on, what do they say about it, how can we move forward. So we found something like do a lot of interviews and with 17 leaders, and we found some interesting finding. I'll show you the framework. No, it's yet to be published, but it's already IP, the framework. So we already put the copyright on that, and that's a good news too. Okay, and that will be moved forward with the policy. After with that study, we move forward as a policy and become, you know, like policy studies, like what we can suggest to the whole nation on, especially at the university level, how to deal with this COVID and how it affect our teaching and learning and assessment. Okay, and critical studies focus on society, social institutions, knowledge and subject. When you say this, you can go all many ways, but you just have to be careful. Make sure, like, you know, you don't lose track, because it's easy to confuse critical studies and ethnography. Okay, grounded theory is like you don't have theory, you don't refer to any, like, you know, what's the theory behind this, what's the framework that you use, you know, is it Vygotsky, is it like transformational leadership? You don't have anything, you go and explore, and then you create a theory based on the data. Okay, based on this, people want this and this and this, so this works within this community. So you are doing grounded theory. Okay. This one, analytic, it could be historical analysis, policy analysis, concept analysis, and this one, some people call it analytic. And some people really do policy analysis, okay? Or political analysis is something similar, but anything with analysis. And historical, sometimes people use it also as this analysis people use in their literature review. Okay, this is where somebody's cutting grass behind my house. So noisy. Is it bothering you? Can you hear that? I hope you can hear my voice clear
Yeah.
in the machine. Okay. Nobody knows that we have Saturday class, right? Okay. So I hope they get it done and leave soon. Okay. Mixed method. This is when usually people say PhD, you have to have mixed method. If it's not rigorous enough, it's not PhD. I doubt, or I beg to differ, because it's very subjective. But then if you do mixed method, because there's a need to do it based on your findings of the literature. Okay, sometimes previous studies say, okay, people have been doing quantitative. Why don't we do mixed method? Why no element of qualitative? Why you don't want to listen to different perspective? Okay, maybe it is the way it is. Most people are doing it, you know, post-positivist. The way they view world is just, these are the variables and work within what we have. We don't want extra. Okay, but some people say, okay, this is time to add more perspectives to it. Let's do mixed method. And it could be 3 ways. Explanatory, exploratory, or concurrent, convergent. Okay, actually at all of this we have triangulation. When we have triangulation, basically we have data from quantitative or one source, doesn't matter, survey, and then we have data from interview. Okay, this is qualitative, and for example, we said document analysis, DA. Okay, and we use this to inform each other. Okay, survey finding confirm whatever we found from document analysis, and then when we ask more, and yes, they elaborate more. They find the trend, and this is how we triangulate. Means we augment our data, we support it with different sources. That's triangulation. And people say concurrent and conversion involve triangulation because most of the time, yeah, we are doing them at the same time. But when we do explanatory, and then, you know, sequential means one thing after another. This one we do first, and then we followed by the second one's, the second design. That's the sequential. And then it can be explanatory, means we have quantitative data, we just explain it with qualitative. Okay, we know already the trend, we have the framework, we have the theory. We grab all the variables, we survey students. And then we select several students and we ask more based on the finding from quantitative. We ask more. What do they really feel that way, and why? How? Those are the questions that you want to ask. You don't want to ask, do you think? Then it's going to be yes and no answer. There's no point of doing interview. Okay, you have to ask the question with the open-ended, like how, what do you think, and why? Okay, what else do you want to share with us? Those are the things that when you add the second part, when you explain the first one. And when you do exploratory, this is when you don't know really, you don't have any theory, so you just go and ask people around, interview. The first thing you do is interview. You want to explore, or you can do actually survey as an interview. But survey, usually you have to have a mixed method or open-ended interview. Ask them, make it like, open-ended. What else do you want to tell us? And then based on that, you create, based on that interview findings or qualitative findings, or it could be, data analysis, document analysis, or even observation. Then you can actually create your survey. Okay. Most of the time, quantitative, the one that people practice, is people use existing instrument. Okay, Ali and Abu 2010 instrument, you use this. So when you don't have any modification and you don't later add qualitative element, so you're just doing pure quantitative. But when you want to see how different sources of data inform each other, then that's when you said I'm using mixed method. And for master by research, quantitative, PhD level, usually they ask you to go mixed method. But if you do qualitative, it's good enough. But if you do quantitative, it's good, but it has to be very rigorous, means more than regression analysis. I don't say that you have to do quanti or mixed method, but depending on your how you can answer your research questions. If you have research questions, is survey enough to answer it? Or do you need more? You need to support with observation, with document analysis, with content analysis from all the from all the policies involved. Then you have to decide whether you're going to do mixed method or just one type of design. And this one is actually, okay, you can follow this. And this is basically a reading list, but I'm using it for method. This is how I'm going to do for my literature review when I talk about method. And you can, interestingly, you can use this for your own assignment too. It's just, this one I'm using method. Okay. Okay. This one, this author, D'Agostino, Rogers, Harmy, and Brownfield, 4 authors in 2016. Okay. Introducing an iPad app into literacy instruction for struggling readers, teacher perceptions, and student outcomes. They're using mixed method concurrent at the same time. First, they use quantitative, and this is the analysis, and this is the IV and DV, and this is the qualitative. Qualitative here, they use semi-structured interviews. They ask teachers, okay, because the samples are. And for the quantitative, they ask students and also teachers. But here, for qualitative, they ask more this experience and not male, only female teachers. Why, I'm not sure. So I forgot already. It's a long time ago, but this is how I do it. So I know, okay, the Agostino do this. Okay. Okay, this one, it's not fair to say that this is we can compare them, because this one is totally from different topic. This one from different topic. This one more like adolescence and self-concept. Yeah, this one maybe Ayn can use it. This literature. Okay, find it. And they're using quantitative, doing experimental. What are these? These are the factors. And you can see here, oh, okay, based on their own method or their own study, they have their, you can also replicate. Okay, some people use, okay, they use 2 types of students. What type of them? What are they? Okay, what type of them? What are they? Okay, and two contexts and stuff. See, 2 cognitive load. How to do this? So this is the design. 2 by 2 by 2 by 3 is very, very rigorous. No, this is also a PhD level. Okay, and how they present the findings. You see the statistical notions, tables, bar, and graph. The more you read, the more you get exposed to this, and the more you have to delve deeper on what things are. Okay, then there's no way you stop one article and that's it. You're being complacent about it. Okay, so these are the things. I cannot compare them because they are not the same, but but when we talk about your own assignment 2, when you compare 5 articles, they are actually from the same topic. You use the same keyword basically. Hopefully they can, you can compare. If you choose them, then you say that, okay, article 1 and 2 cannot be compared because article 1 is more on alternative assessment, but article 2 is more on how what do you call it, the technology per se, not related to alternative assessment. And then article 3 is the one that combine alternative assessment and the use of technology, for example. Okay, those are the one that you want to make this decision. You know, it's whatever you need to answer your research. Okay, this one, correlation, simple. Okay, but I do not do it because I think at this point I'm asking students to fill in the table. Okay, but yeah, this one they use only one sample, qualitative, exploratory case study, one subject only, and very specific. 22-year-old white female, and she's a teacher candidate, means a student teacher. You know, they call her Leslie. It's a pseudonym, bukan nama sebenar. Okay, not the real name. Okay, so why they choose it? They decide. Why choose Leslie? Okay, why not choose Michael? Okay, and this one they talk about diversity, whether how teachers should be open to different, different culture, should be aware not to, say something that is actually culturally call it what do you call it, bias. Okay, this more and more, and I did this like kind of thoroughly just to teach, not for my study, but I use it because different style, different types of stuff they use. And I put RQs here so that I can, always really, you don't have to put RQ, but I know it's good. This is your table. You do whatever you need to make it worth, to make sense of it. Okay. And this one again, the research proposal. What you have to have. You have to have purpose, problem statement, all the way until this is chapter 5. So what you do usually will stop here, chapter 3. The one that you have to submit for your assignment 4 and also assignment 3 for proposal defense is here, chapter 1 to chapter 3. Okay, this is for research report. Analysis, sorry. Okay. If it's good if you have some analysis, but sometimes this one, analysis of data, it could be just, later you describe in chapter 4. If you cannot do it for your research proposal, no worries. Just stop at sampling. But people, it's good if you have, if you want to submit for, for a panel to read, try to think about it because they can give you comment on, whether it's suitable or not. Findings and conclusion, chapter 4 and chapter 5. And this is it. This is my own research for dissertation, University of North Carolina. And you see here is different from whatever Awang Hak Saleh has ordained, So this is mine. I have, my dissertation 286 with the appendices. So you see here what I write in my literature review, my methods, results and conclusion. Some dissertation has 7 chapters. Qualitative or engineering, maybe they have 7 chapters. Usually we have 5 chapters. Okay, and yeah, you can find it. I'll make it open access so you can see the full one if you're interested. Okay, this is the ProQuest. You can search for dissertation and thesis here, and be aware, not all are good, but not all are bad. That's what I'm just gonna say. And this is Johnson, attributes of effective. More, I think this is qualitative. This one, they have, look at the chapter 4, thematic. This is thematic analysis. If you go take a qualitative class, then you'll go with you learn thematic analysis. I'll show you some of example, brief example from my own practice with what do you call during my doctoral training. Okay, for my doctoral training, I have to take classes and I have to, basically it's a coursework. I have to take like undergraduate. And I also went for practical, practicum training and also internship. And also we have a, like, we call it applied classes where we have to go and do research in real industry. So that's PhD. So yeah, different experience, but I cherish those experiences. Okay, and this is Awang Hat Saleh. And you can see here, this is Google Doc they give, and they give format. Okay, you can never go wrong if you follow them. Okay, and there's a more see, more rigorous. Okay, I think that's it for now. It's 11:30. Yeah, discard that. So I'm gonna end our class today. So take a step back and see bigger picture. You know, you don't have to use everything, but I have to tell you everything so that you'll be exposed. Because our research methodology is, you know, you have to see everything, bigger picture, and you decide. I know when you come already, you already have, like, you know, your example from senior or suggested from your course coordinator or even your professor, you know, or your supervisor. You have kind of, okay, I know what I'm gonna do now, but see if, you know, with this exposure that you get, see if, you know, whether you want to do more or you're okay with what you already planned in the you know, in the beginning. I told you it's a dynamic thing, it keeps changing, but at some point you get all what you need, you're good to go. You don't have to look at any other stuff. Those other stuff just for you to be aware of. There are different perspectives, different designs, different style of doing things. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. And from I will share you a couple of slides too about research method, about sampling. That one, where are we? Here. You look at those. I don't mind. I'm gonna share you all the rest of the slides for our class. Just if you a person who needs to print them out and download them, go ahead. My class 2002. I'm doing this so that I don't forget, because I keep on forgetting if I just go and okay. So you have this. So now I'm giving this. This is the most important thing that we're gonna go next month and next week, and this one. Okay. These two are actually example of interviews, how you can do it. Very simple. Okay, correlation, study, and research. This one survey, research method 3. So all these 4, 1, 2, 3. The sampling part is the most important thing.
Sorry,
Okay,
doctor, can you see anything
yeah.
here?
Can you hear me?
Can't see anything.
Say that again.
Sorry, we couldn't see anything, doctor, on the screen.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, please share.
Oh, because I stopped sharing. Okay, okay. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Share. Basically, I'm just sharing you this one. 4 more slides. Research method 1 is the one that we really want to delve deeper, and it's rigorous and it's kind of heavy for next week. It's about sampling, how you do sampling. Okay, and so next week we're going to do sampling and validity. But this one, 7 and 8, it's more like you can go through on your own, because this is all based on what you want to do. You might not use whatever I have, but I think this is for survey. If you're doing survey, you want to look at the slides, because this one, some of you took it quantitative or statistics, it's a repetition, but this is my own version I share with you. And I think Abaya also, you took with me, you know, long time ago in 2017, what do you call it? Educational measurement and evaluation. So basically you have this correlation and also a little bit of survey, but there are some new stuff too. Interviews, it's just very brief notes on interviews, correlation, and this one is on survey, gentle introduction to survey. Okay, how you can conduct survey, what are the important things that you have to see. 2018. Are you sure it's 2018? 2017 Kak Maya. I came back 2017 and I know the first time I have to go is Terengganu. And the next day I have a face-to-face class. That's the semester that I could not remember, could not forget. I still am like thinking of it. It's fun, but it's really, yeah, it's a very good what you call it, experience. 2017 Kak Maya. Yeah, you my first student. Very. How old are you? I remember you asked that question. Okay, and yeah, let's go. Yeah. Joke aside, and yeah, don't forget but I really suggest go through this number 6 research method number 6, and also the 9. Okay, and because this might help you on how to write chapter 3, especially determine your sample. Okay, most of the time sample is also, it's just, purposive or stratified. You decide on based on what you have. Most people will go with purposeful sampling. Just look at this 6 and 9. I have to repeat, if you don't go through it, you might feel very stressful when we go through the class next week. Okay, so that's it. And okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now. Talk to you later, and keep in touch. If you need anything, just shout it out on the WhatsApp group. Assalamualaikum, everyone. Jumin, try. If somebody wants to swap with Jumin, please. Okay. I'm not trying to promote to go and present early, but it's better to present early so that you can have a better time to write a report, because you will be so hung up on that presentation that you forgot about your report. Your report has to be submitted too. Okay, take care, guys. We did everything, right? We took a picture. We scanned. Yes, good to go. And this is recorded. I know I did not share anything. You have to ask me, because yeah, this semester is crazy. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Have a wonderful day ahead. See
Thank
you
you,
soon.
Doctor.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye, Doctor. Assalamualaikum
Thank you.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm gonna end meeting for all.
Okay.